What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Um, Getting into this episode, let me just say this. I like the Charles Street storyline so far. And the reason I like it is because it's real life. It's realistic. Because gentrification is happening in real life. You know what I mean? Like, it's really happening. People live in a neighborhood, they lived in their homes for 20 and 30 years, and then you get these land developers and these landlords come in and they raise the rent. Some people, property tax get raised or their mortgage get raised or whatever the case is, and they can no longer afford to live there. I read about this stuff all the time. It's happening. Even now it's still happening. And I like that, they had Stella touch up on that and stuff, because she just moved to Charles Street. And she said a lot of her neighbors and stuff are good people and they lived in the neighborhood a long time, and there's talk of gentrification happening around Charles Street. So if that happens, a lot of those people, like she said, financially they're all doing pretty good. They're comfortable, but they're not rolling in dough. They don't have Quartermain money, they don't have Corinthos money, they don't have um even Jerome money. They don't have that type of money, you know. So if gentrification happens on Charles Street, a lot of them will be forced out because they can no longer afford to stay there and they've all lived there for so long. And like I said, it happens in real life, because you get certain areas where a lot of older people live, senior citizens, people that's, just now retiring, they got their 401k, they got their pension, they got their social security. So they're living pretty comfortable in their older age. And these people lived in these neighborhoods for 30 years, 30, 40 years, however long. And now with gentrification, they can no longer afford to live there. And I feel like that is messed up. And I'm glad that the writers are touching on this. Um, and what else is happening is I figured this out a minute ago. Charlie's Pub, I knew it was going to become a new hotspot. I knew it. I hope that it don't replace the floating rib because the floating rib is like a staple on this show when it used to be called Jake's, but it's still a staple on this show. So I hope that we get to still see both. You know what I'm saying? But I do like Charlie's Pub because it's a new set, it's a different vibe. So I like it. They're doing something different because sometimes you do have to switch up sets because sometimes you get a little tired of seeing the same places. But I don't want the older places to go either, because they're becoming staples on the show. Some of these sets have pretty much become characters on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these sets have become just as important as the characters on the show. Like the Quartermain Mansion, Sonny's house, Jason's penthouse, like all these places. I'm so sick of these pop-ups coming up on my computer. Anyway, so yeah, it's like a lot of these, areas and stuff are now just like as important as the characters. Floating Rib, the Metro Court, a lot of them. So, but I do like Charlie's Pub though. I like it. It's a nice looking place. So anyway, Aunt Stella. So Curtis gives her a piece of art that he got from the Jerome Gallery. It's an expensive piece of art. And she was all happy about it, she loved it. She knew that it was expensive, but she loved it either way for her new apartment or her new house, whatever. Um, so Jordan comes in because, mind you, Jordan went to Ava's art gallery or whatever. Her and Ava were reminiscing about when they were actually friends back when Jordan was undercover with the DEA trying to take down the drones, which was a pretty nice scene. I like that they remembered that old somewhat friendship that they had. So I like that. So she bought Aunt Stella a gift for her apartment or her house, whatever. So she went to Charlie's Pub and she gave it to Aunt Stella. Now, as soon as she walked in with the box from the Jerome Gallery, my first initial thought was she probably got her the same gift Curtis got. I was pretty sure of it when I seen her walk in with that box because it was the same box that Curtis gave Aunt Stella. So I was like, yep, she got her the same gift. And she did get her the same gift, but it's actually a matching set because Ava did say that she had another, she had two that were matching sets. But, you know, Jordan's gift was actually it was a different color from the one Curtis gave. It was the same thing but just different color. Aunt Stella was rude as hell. I'm sorry, but that lady was rude. She told Jordan that she was going to take that back and donate the money. Now, I'm all for donating to charity. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like it was just rude. Because one minute you were all happy about the gift that Curtis got you, which was the same gift. And she knew it was expensive. She did not even think about donating it, taking it back and donating the money. Never did that cross her mind. But Jordan gives you the same gift and you want to donate the money? You want to give the gift back and donate the money? I said, really? Really? I just felt like that was a slap in the face, and you could see how disappointed and hurt Jordan was by that. Now I understand that Stella is still upset with Jordan about stuff that happened 20 years ago. I get it because her lies did leave. It led to the death of Thomas, which was Curtis's brother. It led to his death. So I kind, I get it. She's upset about that, but that was 20 years ago. How many? I mean, eventually they stopped beating Rodney King. I'm just saying, like, how long are you gonna keep holding a grudge against this girl? She's tried everything. She's been nice to you. She's been respectful to you. All these things. She's apologized a million times. She got you a housewarming gift that was expensive, might I add, and you just spit all over it. I'm like, what more does this girl got to do? At this point, I just feel like Jordan needs to just stop. At this point, if she hasn't accepted your apology by now, she's not going to. She's not accepting of your gifts. She's really, irritated by the mere existence of you. Your mere presence irritates her. So it's like at this point, stop repenting. You know what I mean? Just stop. If she doesn't like you, she's probably never gonna like you. So it's just, if I was Jordan, I would just still be respectful when I see her. I would still say hi, how you doing? I would be respectful, but I wouldn't put too much effort into it anymore. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't. Because this lady is probably never gonna like you, so what's the point? Just be respectful and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. Hi, bye. That's all you need to say. That's it. Because, like, what's the point at this point? The woman ain't never gonna like you. Stop trying to get her to like you. She's never going to, so stop. That's all I can say about that. Just stop. Um. So anyway, Alexis, another one getting on my nerves. Every time she sees Julian, she keeps asking, "What are you doing here?" Alexis, sit down. First of all, you're in a public park. Keyword: public, public, public. It's a public park. How you gonna tell that man what are you doing here? Like he ain't supposed to be there. He's not following you, Alexis. You live in Port Charles, New York. Port Charles is a small town. You're bound to run into people that you either like or you don't like. That's what happens when you live in a small town. Now, if you live in LA or something like that, or New York City, Manhattan, and all of that, then you're bound probably not going to run into that person. But when you live in a small town, you're going to run into people that you don't like. That's just what it is, or that you claim you don't like, or you tolerate, whatever the case may be. Stop acting like he can't be certain places. Like the park is a public place. He was there donating Toys for Tots, which is a nice cause. It's a wonderful cause. It was a great thing. And nobody's forcing him to donate toys. He's donating them from the kindness of his heart. So be grateful for that. Because you got some wealthy people that don't donate nothing. But I'm just saying, at least Julian was doing it on his own accord and nobody was twisting his arm. But it was good that Julian at least got to see Danny. He got to see his grandson, and Danny was happy to see him. Um, but Alexis needs to chill out. Like, you're bound to run into Julian. Get over it. He's a free man now. He told her he's free. He's not going back into the mob. He's happy with the life that he's trying to rebuild now. And he's just trying to move forward. That's it. Even though I know that he want her back. That's quite obvious. Um, so anyway, Ava was at the gallery or whatever, going to work. You know, Kiki is upset or whatever because Dylan ain't coming home for Christmas. He's been gone for months and she hasn't seen him in months. and she's afraid because her insecurities are starting to show. Kiki's insecurities are definitely starting to show because he's doing photography for some independent movie or whatever. So he's around a bunch of beautiful actresses and stuff like that, and her insecurities are coming out. But at the end of the day, I like this because it's realistic as well. Because this is what people in that industry have to deal with. Like, say if your spouse or your partner or whoever, they're out of town doing a movie, filming a movie, photographing a movie, directing a movie, whatever they're doing. You have to deal with those insecurities. Oh, he or she is around beautiful people, and sometimes it comes out. If you're a secure person, then none of that is ever gonna pop into your mind. But I can understand where Kiki coming from. She hasn't seen Dylan in months. You know what I'm saying? And she just started to second guess herself and think maybe she should have, you know, left school for a while to go see Dylan, blew off a test or something to go see him or whatever. But at the end of the day, you should not have to stop your professional growth to sustain a relationship. It's like sometimes you have to, focus on you and your career. That's what Dylan's doing. He's focusing on his career. And he wanted to come home, but business got in the way. Business is business. It is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. Was it me? Was it just me, or did anybody detect a little bit of a triangle popping up? A love triangle between Kiki and Griffin and Ava. Because the way Ava was looking at Kiki when she was around Griffin or something, it was like Ava was trying to throw daggers at Kiki or something. Like she just, if looks could kill, basically. The way she was looking at Kiki when Griffin was comforting her, it was like she looked a little jealous. I have a feeling that Griffin is definitely gonna hook up with Kiki at some point. I definitely have that feeling because number one, it's not just even just the age thing, but they are closer in age. They have a bit more in common. Um, and Kiki does come with less baggage, i.e., criminal baggage, than Ava. So I don't know. I mean, it could be karma. I mean, Ava did sleep with Kiki boyfriend, so karma is a you know what. So it might be coming back. I don't know. But I have a feeling that this relationship between Ava and Griffin is just going to continue to deteriorate a little bit because there are some underlying issues in their relationship. The main one right now being Julian because he popped up at the gallery and stuff. And I just feel like Julian was antagonizing Griffin. I just felt like that. Like he keep talking about, oh, you seem like you don't like me. Duh, Julian. Of course he doesn't like you. You had his father killed. Why should he like you? He's never gonna like you. But I do have to say this. Griffin needs to realize that Duke was not innocent in all of this. Number one, he was working for the Corinthos. He was the acting head of the Corinthos organization at the time of his death. And when you get into that business, that's what you choose. You know what I'm saying? That's the risk that you choose because there is death that comes with being in organized crime. There's that big risk of dying, and that's what happens. Your father knew this, and he still chose to take over the Corinthos organization while Sonny was in prison. So, it is what it is. Um, what are you gonna do? But it wasn't right. I don't think it's right to take anybody's life. I don't care what life choices you make. It's still not right, even though that's the business that they were in. But it is what it is. But it's still no right. But Griffin does have a right to not like Julian. But Julian does. He knew what he did to that man father. You did not have to antagonize him the way you do. Like I just feel like that's trifling. Um. So anyway, you know, Drew called Jason over to his own penthouse, mind you, to talk with them about the whole Andre Maddox situation. So Jason was filling him in on it, letting him know about the whole disco ball and the flash drive being in there or whatever. Sam she just seemed like she tolerated Jason today. She was somewhat decent to him today. And my guess is the only reason she was because he had information pertaining to Drew. That's the only reason why she wasn't so attitude with him today. Because the last couple episodes, she just been so attitude with him. And it was like, she just been so tight. Like, I'm really not here for Sam at this point. I really ain't. So Danny came home or whatever. Alexis dropped Danny off, and now they feel like it's the time to let Danny know that um, Jason is his real father. And I actually like that scene. Danny took the news way better than Jake did. And mind you, Jake is older than Danny. And Jake was just a mess when he found out. Danny actually took the news like a champ. Like he, was still figuring things out, but he hugged Jason. He was more receptive to Jason. He wanted to get to know Jason. He wanted Jason to get to know him. And I like that scene. It was a real nice scene. And now here goes Sam, crying, boo-hooing all over the place. Then she sat there, got down on one knee, started asking Drew to marry her or whatever. Honestly, that whole proposal, I didn't feel like it was romantic. I just felt like it was forced. It was rushed. It just was not romance. That's all I'm saying. It was not coming. This is how I feel. It just wasn't coming from a genuine place. That's just how I feel. Um, I just felt like it was a spirit of moment, rushed. She had an agenda for doing it, trying to prove a point. And that's just how I felt like she was doing it, out of loyalty and everything else. It's just how I felt. Um, so anyway, Obrecht was talking with Britt or whatever because Britt was talking about how her lawyer wants her to give up Faison in exchange for either a reduced sentence or she could try to get immunity. But Obrecht was not having it. She was like, "You're not about to betray your father," because it's no secret that Faison didn't even want a daughter. And the only reason he never killed Britt was because he thought that she was loyal to him. So if she proves to be disloyal, he has no problem with killing Britt. He has no issue whatsoever. He would shoot Britt dead. He would kill her. Because he never wanted a daughter in the first place. He always wanted a son. So Obrecht wasn't trying to protect Faison. She was trying to protect Britt. Because she knew that if Faison tried to kill Britt, he would have to kill Obrecht in order to do it. Because Obrecht was not about to let him harm her daughter. And I actually liked Obrecht today because she showed that she is a real mother and she does stick up for her kids. No matter her infatuation with Faison, she still loves her kids. She's not about to let anybody harm them, including Faison himself. But she said, she's no match for Faison. But she was willing to die for Britt, to protect her child. I liked their scenes today though. They was talking about, Britt having, becoming an aunt or whatever when Nathan have the baby and stuff. It was a cool scene. I hope that they bring Britt back at some point as a full time character because I do like Britt. Um, so anyway, Maxie and Nathan was talking about the whole medical records thing. So yeah, so Maxie and Nathan were talking about his father or whatever. I don't. It's obvious Victor Cassadine ain't his daddy. I'm gonna tell you like this. I know a lot of people say Faison could be his father. I was always doubtful about that because it's like why would Obrecht is obsessed with Faison to an extent. So why wouldn't she want him? I don't know. Maybe he is the father, but if Faison really is the father, I would be disappointed because they dragged the storyline out since 2014. It's been 3 years. I was hoping that it would be somebody bigger than Faison for all this drama. I was like, and y'all just gonna turn out and let it be Faison? Mm-mm. Because with all this drama that they building up to, I was like, it better be Candyman or somebody. It better be Jason Voorhees or somebody. Better not be no Faison. 3 years of this storyline, and you mean to tell me the father the whole time is Faison? That's a letdown because they could have been said this 3 years ago. Um. So anyway, she gave him some medical records or whatever. Apparently, I guess on Victor Cassadine. But when him and Maxie was looking over the records, he didn't believe the records. He had doubts about it. So his spidey senses is basically tingling. So he knows something is amiss, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna figure. He don't believe Victor Cassadine is his real dad. I don't think he really believes it. I definitely don't think he do. But anyway, I'm hoping that it's somebody bigger than Faison. Hopefully. Like, let it be somebody. Let it be Freddy Krueger or somebody. Like, it got to be somebody bigger than Faison, please. Anyway, let me know in the comments what y'all thought about today's episode. Let me know. Hit the comment section. Let me know. Hit the like button. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.